Week 8 start sit show. We are less than an hour, I suppose, now away from Thursday Night Football kickoff. Bills and Buccaneers, both teams sort of struggling right now. We'll see what happens. Sort of a get right spot for the Bills, especially with Vita Vea out. We can start with a little bit of news for this game, I suppose. I think that's a big one for the Bills, Vita Vea being out. I think the Bills' interior offensive line has been utter trash this season. So the fact that they don't have to run against a brick wall is a good thing. Also on Tampa's side, I don't think anyone's really trusting that third running back or anyone playing around with that. But if you're playing DFS tonight, as I am, as I continue to set my lineups here, Chase Edmonds is activated off IR. He's the third running back. So if you need somebody for a bare minimum spot, go ahead with Chase Edmonds. But that's about it for tonight. I mean, obviously, Dawson Knox, wrist surgery, he's out. So you got Dalton Kincaid playing a position that he is actually supposed to play. That's probably good. He's back at like a normal tight end spot, the same position he was compared to Travis Kelce a mere month ago. So let's see if Travis Kelce shows up on Thursday Night Football. I don't know. Zach, or not Espinosa, McAdoo, 3 Zachs here. As a Bills fan, how are you feeling going into tonight?
So, I mean, I think the Bills are going to be fine tonight. I mean, Baker Mayfield he can be super Baker and he can be trash Baker. It's no in between. And we've seen them both in the past month. Last week it was trash Baker. The week before it was like super. It's as a guy who I have him in the league, in our dynasty league. Yes, I've seen it. I've seen them both. So, I mean, it depends on which Baker shows up and if he can hit Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, who Godwin is active tonight.
True. And both, I believe I'm correct when I say both quarterbacks tonight are undefeated on Thursday Night Football. I think Josh Allen's only played once, but Baker's like 3-0 or 4-0 or something. So maybe I should look at Baker's stats on Thursday Night Football. I wonder if he goes super conservative on Thursday nights, and that's why they win.
Does that include his first game against the Jets?
Probably only starts.
Okay.
Let me just say that I don't appreciate this Mayfield slander.
Okay, explain.
He's simply a god amongst men. I mean, that's just, it's unbiased, it's fair, it's holy, it's righteous. I mean, any adjective that you want to put there, I mean, it just fits Baker Mayfield.
Do we need to talk about the better quarterback in the 2017 draft?
So help me God. Do I think I know where this is going?
You should. I'm in his jersey. It shouldn't be that hard to figure out.
Are you going to go with Deshaun fucking Watson?
It always leads back to this.
God damn it. You know what? This is just a running gag. Every single week I have some sort of rant about Deshaun Watson. And yeah, this week too, medically cleared.
Yeah,
Still doesn't want to go.
He cost me one of my matchups. He had a negative 0.17, and I lost by less than 2 points. Like, if it would have been better if I didn't play him.
I don't want to defend Deshaun Watson, but the doctor medically clearing him is like trying to slander him, and that's fine. Like we could bring hate towards Deshaun Watson. I'm not upset about that. He's clearly not healthy, and he clearly has no arm power. Like, he needs to be out. He shouldn't be trying to play through this. So
but I could say the same thing about Mayfield last year. He was 100%. Injured tooth and nail. Guy was bleeding his blood out there, and yet they didn't want to give him the contract extension. They kept throwing him to the wolves.
This is something that we've known for the last, at least since last year, that the NFL doctors are dog shit, because look at Tua. I mean, he should not have been back out there against the Bills, and yet he was. And he was back out there against the Bengals, and you saw the scary situation that was there.
Fair enough. For whatever it's worth, I did look up Thursday night stats. So Thursday, I'm assuming this includes Thanksgiving days, obviously, as well. Josh Allen, 5-0 on Thursdays. He has a 12-5 touchdown interception ratio. He's pretty on par with the rest of his stats, I would say. Baker is 4-0 on Thursdays, 5-1 touchdown interception ratio, so a little bit conservative. In terms of overall yards, he's a little lower, but overall on par. So something's got to break tonight unless it ends in a tie, which is very possible. That would suck.
Yes, it would.
Yes, that's the worst scenario. Blake says, I threw Lawrence and Puka straight up for Mahomes. He still wants Lawrence. This is talking about trade I think we went over yesterday. Still wants Lawrence, Pacheco, and Puka. He added Debo or Gabe Davis with Mahomes. A lot of names. I'm trying to figure out what the question is.
I'm trying to think if she do the new deal or they should go back to the old deal.
Through Lawrence and
who are you giving up, Blake?
He's giving up Lawrence and Puka. He wanted to do the two for Mahomes. I think this is a super flex. If I remember the correct question from yesterday. Lawrence, Pacheco. So the other guy added Pacheco, and you could get Debo or Gabe Davis along with Mahomes. I'm guessing that's the situation. And if that's the case, as long as you're good at running backs, I'm fine with doing it for Debo. But
yeah,
obviously don't fuck yourself at running back.
The question there is how long is Debo? Well, we think Debo's out just this week. We know injuries can linger, so
yeah, and I think that's right. Again, he's another guy who comes back and plays through injuries before he's 100% as well. But I would prefer Debo to Gabe Davis rest of season just because, like, Gabe Davis is too unpredictable. Like, you're going to start him, he's going to lose some games. You're going to start him, he's going to win you some games. So I think it's a Gabe Davis night, though. So we'll see.
He's either going to go for like 20 points or 5. There's no in between.
True. TS, if Purdy plays, should I stick with him or maybe play Carr like we talked about last night? Kyler also on waivers and could play. Kyler's not going to play, but I think you should pick him up.
Purdy's not playing either. I don't think he's playing if he's concussion protocol and it's Thursday.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see there. I still think you should go with Carr regardless, though. Personally, that's what I would do. I don't know. Do you guys have other thoughts?
I mean, do you have other options besides Derek Carr? If you're forced, then by all means, there's no other choice. But if you can, are there other options?
I don't like the Derek Carr slander.
Derek Carr plays the Colts. It's okay.
The Colts just gave up 39 points to the Browns offense with PJ Walker.
Dude, you know how I feel about the Browns. I'm going to take anybody over Deshaun Watson. And look how they run a competent offense. And then when he's in there, he holds them back. And then he wants to say that he's injured, but then he's medically cleared. It's a whole conundrum. I can't wait for this saga to play itself out so we can rip him apart.
You should already rip him apart. He's getting $240 million guaranteed. That's why the Browns are trying to stick with him. It's because they know how disastrous that contract is for a serial.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm just saying that way we can look at the stats and say, here's the evidence for my thesis.
We're going off the rails. We got to go.
Yeah. Also, Deshaun played really well the last time he was healthy and actually played. Yes, Blake says that he wants Lawrence, Puka, and Pacheco to give up Mahomes, Debo, or Davis. So yeah, do what we were just talking about. I'm Nick has a question here. They have Purdy marked as out, and now Darnold is marked as the starter. Okay, you have a different question, I think, though. So fire away with your other question, unless you don't have a question. If you have a question, go ahead. You don't need to raise your hand. TS, Baker or Stafford? I would go Stafford.
Absolutely.
Who do the Rams play?
The Rams play. Let me find my rankings.
It's
not the greatest matchup, but I remember that. Stafford plays the Cowboys.
Ooh.
I take the Rams winning that game. I think it's going to be the Cowboys' inability on offense that is eventually going to break that Cowboys defense.
Yeah, but maybe go Stafford. I mean, they don't have Diggs, so I think it's better, but I still like the Bills' defense has been inconsistent the last couple of weeks, even with they played well against the Giants, but still, that's the Giants' offense. So
exactly.
True. Very true. TS, everyone else is bad on waivers. That is fair. Quarterbacks across the league right now all suck, essentially, other than Lamar Jackson. So that is fine. In terms of, do you have something?
Who's breathing into the mic?
I don't know. Doesn't look like any of us.
I think it's you.
It's not me. I'm watching my thing. All right, move on.
Is that better?
Okay, I'm just looking at the sound. I think it's Espinoza. I don't think you're breathing into it. It sounds like that, but I think something else is happening.
Estimate.
We have 2 Stardom Situm articles up on Flurry Sports at the current moment. We'll have more very soon, but we got wide receivers, tight ends, so we can quickly touch on them before we hop off here. And of course, keep asking questions in the chat and we will address them. But in terms of wide receivers, Stardom Situm article I wrote, the 2 starts I have for this week, I have George Pickens as the featured start against the Jaguars. I have Drake London as the other start against the Titans. My 2 sits are Marquise Brown in a revenge spot against the Ravens and Tyler Lockett, who is injured, not looking great, and playing the Browns, which is obviously not the greatest matchup. Espinoza, anybody stick out from that list that you agree or disagree with? Is he frozen? Okay, McAdoo, is there anyone from that list you agree or disagree with?
So I'm looking right now. I will go George Pickens. I mean, he's not wide receiver 1, but then again, Deontay Johnson hasn't looked great as wide receiver 1 there. So, I mean, he's still getting double-digit points, don't get me wrong, but when you're getting out targeted by your wide receiver 2, I think it's time to switch. And Pickens looked amazing last week, if you can say that, with how bad the Matt Canada offense has been, Fire Canada. But George Pickens, good play here.
That offense at least made changes coming out of the bye. I thought they looked a little better. Pickens is coming off his first back-to-back 100-yard games of his career, and it's gotten to the point that the Steelers are finally just doing what they should do, and it's, hey, we'll just throw it deep to Pickens one of these times, every other series or so, and he just comes down with it because he's incredible. So, if I had to predict, I think Deontay Johnson has more receptions this week and rest of season. I think Pickens probably outscores him because he has more touchdown upside. He has more big play upside. He has all of that. So, and this week, obviously, plays the Jaguars. Jaguars have been inconsistent at best at covering the outside receiver, I would say.
And they're going to be my starting defense because I don't trust the Seattle Seahawks against Cleveland.
Yeah, very true. There is a lot happening right now on the back end here. There's a couple Espinozas. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to power through and try to break down this question. We can't see it all, so I'm actually going to take it off so I can actually read it.
Oh, yes.
Nick. Oh, yes. My question is, what should I do if I'm stuck with Terry McLaurin and Amari Cooper at wide receiver? Lineup is Herbert, Henry, Kamara McLaurin, Cooper, Laporta, Brian Robinson, Butker, Eagles. I have Kyler Murray, JSN, Tyler Boyd, Darren Waller, and Najee Harris. Got one spot open. My team was a lot better. Obviously, Chubb situation. I feel you there. So question overall, Terry McLaurin or Amari Cooper. And after what I saw last week from the Browns offense, I need to see Amari Cooper produce before I put him back in my lineup. So I'm going to go with Terry McLaurin.
That one was me because I hate this question because I had Amari Cooper 2 weeks ago. He's on my bench because I was like, you know what, they're going to throw to KJ Osborne. Why not? And then Amari Cooper goes up and puts up more points than KJ Osborne. So I think he has both of them in his lineup right now.
If I may.
Do that? Go ahead.
I'm the first to admit the Amari Cooper disbelief. I don't really buy into his stock. I know that he consistently has 1,000-yard seasons, but it's never consistent big games to big games. And for that reason, I don't trust him in fantasy. I
agree. And yes, so they have both of them in there. They do have Darren Waller on their bench. I would play Waller over Cooper.
He's got JSN. He says JSN or Cooper. I'm going Cooper.
I'd go Cooper unless Lockett is actually ruled out. That's certainly questionable right now. If Lockett's ruled out, then I would be willing to go JSN. But if he's third in the pecking order there, you're not really trusting him, I don't think. But assuming Lockett plays, I would play. I mean, do you have a flex? Are you playing one of those guys in your flex? I don't think so.
No, he's got Brian Robinson.
Okay. Then, yeah, I think you're kind of stuck with Cooper. I mean, the matchup's not bad. It's just we'll see what PJ Walker does throwing the ball, I guess. Okay. Nicole, what's up? I want to give Ridley another chance, but I don't know. Should I start Drake London instead? I have London ranked above Ridley. Love Ridley's talent. It's just, he's not looking great. And that game plan is certainly, it's like, throw to the first read that's open. Obviously, that's a smart thing to do. And Christian Kirk continues to be open in the middle of the field. So he's seen the targets. Ridley is not. And Drake London's quietly very steady right now. Espinoza, what are your thoughts?
Well, that and also, I mean, the fantasy world was upset with Arthur Smith's comment that he just refuses to commit to Bijan Robinson. So, I mean, you take London until he commits to Robinson being the dominant playmaker in that offense.
I mean, what he did last week has nothing to do with committing to him. Like, he was having migraines and he was just caring for his player over fantasy owners. Like, it was nothing. And he's good now.
But to my point, and this is what I said on X, he should have been inactive at that point.
Sure.
Why are you putting him? Why are you dressing him if you're worried about his migraines?
I mean, we don't know what the situation was. You have to put your inactives and starting game day roster pretty early. So there's a chance he was fine and he gets out there and starts moving around and starts acting up. I have no idea. So like, that's a chance. Maybe he acted stupidly and just hoped the headaches would go away. Like, there's a chance they did something wrong. There's a chance it was out of their control and it just acted up. You know, we saw it with Percy Harvin time and time again. Like, you could have said, why are the Vikings and every other team who had Percy Harvin activating him just to sit on the sideline with a headache? But you never know.
Well, that's also, Kyle Pitts has really been taken off. They want to pass the ball now. I think it's the evidence that they're going to try to push it to London eventually.
Yeah, I mean, he's been seeing consistent targets. He has 50-plus yards, I think, in 4 of the past 6 games or something like that. He's steady. He's good. Also, do this one first. Kincaid or Waller? I'm going Waller.
Waller.
Yeah, I got to go Waller.
I like both, though. Also, start 2, Gibbs, Devontae Smith, Ridley, or Zay Flowers. It sounds like David Montgomery, there's a decent chance he's going to miss again for whatever that's worth. So for me, if Montgomery's out, like, Gibbs is an obvious lock right now. So I'd probably go Gibbs and Smith. McAdoo, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was going to say Gibbs. And I don't know, I like that Zay Flowers play because I don't like the Cardinals defense.
That's fair.
Yeah, I agree with the other two. It purely depends on Montgomery, but if Montgomery is in, I go Smith and Flowers.
If you just need safe points, I think definitely go Flowers over Smith. It's just sort of a gut call and, reading some tea leaves here. I feel like this is a get right matchup and game for Devontae Smith. But truly, definitely boom or bust, it feels like. Okay. I've considered trading Amari Cooper for Olave. I don't think that does much for you. Do I trade Waller or Cooper for Olave? I don't know.
I don't think you trade for Olave.
Yeah, at this point, I don't know. I don't see the reason to, I guess.
He also just got arrested, and we don't know if that means that there's a suspension coming either from the Saints or from the NFL.
Not for that.
No, he was speeding. It's whatever.
If he pulled a Ruggs, that'd be different, but I think that he's fine for now.
Yeah, whatever. He's going fast. That's fine.
You got a fast car, man.
Yeah, show it off. Mike Evans or Nico Collins, full PPR. I'm going Evans.
Yeah, I unfortunately agree with that pick.
You guys are saying Evans?
Yep.
Mike Evans, 13 for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. I don't trust CJ Stroud as a rookie. I know that he's the most consistent, but I still don't buy it.
A lot of mouths to feed in Houston still too. Dylan, last call. We're starting Mixon or James Cook, full PPR, leaning Mixon for volume. No Vita Vea tonight. Cook intrigues me. Starting Diggs tonight as well. I will say I definitely moved James Cook up after I found out Vita Vea actually wasn't going to play. Where do I have them ranked? They're very close for me. Espinoza, what's your thoughts while I figure out where I have them ranked?
Starting with Mixon or James Cook? Joe Mixon. There's a lot of mouths to feed in Buffalo. Josh Allen takes away goal line carries. I definitely go Mixon.
McAdoo?
Cook. They're starting to utilize him. If you saw the last week's game in New England, didn't end the way I wanted, but he still was being used a lot. He had a lot of volume, either running the ball or catching the ball and getting yards. So I'm going Cook.
I have Cook ranked as running back 17. I have Mixon as running back 20. So Cook gets the slight edge for me.
And that's before the Vita Vea news, right?
After. Okay. I think he actually went from 21 up to 17 for me. Someone named McAdoo has a question. Madison or Dameon Pierce PPR? I feel like I'm ranking Pierce a little too low. I'm at 27 right now. I mean, my rankings say Madison. Packers defense obviously is the Packers defense. I think Madison falls in the end zone. I think Madison catches a bunch of passes this week. So I'm going to go him because of the PPR edge slightly. Espinoza?
Yeah, actually, we were talking about selling Dameon Pierce at an all-time high earlier this season. Like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I think it would be remiss of me to not suggest Madison. And then also, they traded for Cam Akers. And what has Cam Akers done?
He's pretty good last week.
I mean, but in regards to taking points away from Madison for Dameon Pierce, I still got to go with Madison. But yeah, you're absolutely right.
McAdoo, do you want to answer that question or no?
No, I'm going to abstain from this one.
Okay, sounds good. With Olave being wide receiver 1 on deep routes the entire NFL, I've just been intrigued to know how cheap he'll be too with being arrested. I mean, honestly, if you can buy low because someone's actually afraid of that arrested news, then do it. But I'm not buying him at like market value. If they want to sell low, then buy low, I guess. That's my thoughts. But yeah, truly, it's a nothing burger that he was arrested.
So if we want to talk trades, can I steer this? I've sent a trade today. If I'm allowed to, I'm trying to get Kyler Murray because I'm on my 3rd and 4th quarterbacks of the year because Aaron Rodgers lasted 75 seconds. Anthony Richardson lasted 5 weeks. And so it's like, okay, I'm down to Sam Howell and Josh Dobbs. So I'm going to try to trade away Alexander Madison and Elijah Moore for Kyler Murray.
How big of a league?
I think it's 14.
I don't hate that. I mean, I assume the person who has Kyler Murray has a legit quarterback that they are starting and they're fine with. If,
Don't know, don't care.
I just mean like if they're valuing Kyler Murray coming back, I don't think you're going to get it. But
they have Ritter and Prescott.
Okay, then I mean, I think it's a doable trade. I would for sure give that up for him on your end. So worth a shot.
Yeah, I mean, nice risk and reward with Murray.
True. We'll see how much he runs right away. I have a feeling there's going to be people panic selling him after the first week he's back, which would be great. I would love to buy him.
But he's not going to be back until after most trade deadlines, you think, right? Because you're looking week 10.
I predicted preseason he would be back week 9, and I'm going to stick to it. So maybe he's back week 9.
Call of Duty comes out next month.
Shut up.
He'll be okay. Amari Cooper has just been absolutely horrible for me this year. I need a wide receiver that can produce. True. Olave's also been horrible this year. So same thing. Do I start Hubbard over Cook or White? No.
Not at all.
Espinoza?
No, not at all.
Okay. Kincaid or Kittle? I have Kittle slightly above Kincaid. Espinoza, what's your thoughts?
I think I'm actually going to go with Kincaid. It's Sam Darnold. It's too soon for me to definitively say Kittle. There's a lot of mouths to feed in San Francisco. I think Josh Allen is going to try to force feed Kincaid the ball. They did trade up to get him. I know that they ran a lot of 2 tight end sets this year with him, and I think now they're going to see what they got in him. And Dawson Knox is a minimum 4 weeks because they put him in IR. So it may not be tonight that he has a big game, but I think he does within the next 4 weeks.
Well, I mean, he's asking for tonight, though.
Yeah.
I don't think he...
The next 3 weeks don't matter. It's all about this week. We need to worry about 1 week at a time, Espinosa.
No, I mean...
And I'm going...
Okay, yeah, sure. I still go Kincaid.
I'm going Kittle. Kittle is one of the top 3 tight ends in this league. You cannot change my mind on that. I think it's Kelsey, Kittle, Andrews, and Andrews' is very wavery now. But I don't care. Darnold, Purdy, it doesn't matter. Kittle is going to put up more points than Kincaid.
I think it's close. I think Kittle. I agree. He's the second best tight end in reality. I don't think he's the second best tight end in fantasy. 2 hit or miss for me. Who's a wide receiver I would trade for? Guys in my league have offered Amon-Ra. I mean, if you can get Amon-Ra, then yeah. Any of the wide receivers you named, if you can get them, I love them all. Not Puka.
But don't give up too much for him.
Right. Yeah, you're not selling the whole team for him, but I think Devontae's an obvious buy low at the current moment. You're going to have to pay quite a bit for Amon-Ra and Diggs, obviously. And Puka would be buying high at the current moment, so I'm probably not going for him. But yeah, I mean, they're all startable wide receivers, so sure. Randy, what's up? Glad to see you back. And do I start Kareem Hunt this week? Depends on who you're starting him over, but I think he's a trustworthy play.
Absolutely.
I mean, going back to last week, Jerome Ford had 69 yards on 1 attempt. And then the next, 11 carries, he had 11 yards. So, I mean, I think so. Yeah, I think Kareem Hunt should be the starter, but what do I know?
And Ford's out now, so I mean he's given it. It's him and Pierre Strong. So
I didn't even see what's his name is out.
Yeah. So he is like I have him at running back 25 this week. So yeah, definitely go ahead and start Hunt most likely. Liam, trade Mixon and Ramondre for Brian Robinson, David Montgomery, and T. Higgins, 10-team PPR. I have a bunch of running back depth, as you can see there. I mean, yeah, I'd do the trade. You're getting Montgomery, who I think is the best running back in the trade, and then you get T. Higgins as well. So yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, I don't think you're giving up a lot.
And the Cincinnati offense has been very hit or miss, and Mixon's a part of that, but so is T. Higgins. And I think T. Higgins can put up more points than Mixon with Burrow starting to get healthy.
Agreed. McAdoo, did you want to get out of here in 2 minutes?
I'll answer the worst Halloween candy one, and then I'll leave.
Now we're cooking with gas.
But worst Halloween candy? I don't like peanuts or anything like that. So anything like Snickers or Payday, anything like that.
I mean, bad pick.
I mean, yeah, but I also, like I said, I don't like peanuts.
I mean, fine, but
it's okay. Some opinions are wrong.
All right, let's go.
Think greater than yourself here. Is Circus Peanuts a Halloween candy? Because Circus Peanuts suck. Shout out Luke Reimer. who loves circus peanuts for some reason. Those are terrible.
Twizzlers. But like the mini ones.
Yeah.
Why? Twizzlers are fine. Red Vines
but
are
they're so tiny. It's a waste of space.
Agreed. Either one. Like
the same.
If I got licorice for trick or treating or something, that'd blow. I wouldn't want that.
They still taste the same. I don't.
It's so small though. It's gone so quickly. Like, why get my hopes up when I dig into the bag and I take that?
That's any candy that's fun size.
But some has more content. Like, Snickers is something more, I don't want to say meatier, but something more girthy for me to bite into than a Twizzlers.
Are all three of us pro candy corn?
Yes.
I am, yes.
Interesting. That's might be a first. Okay. I was expecting one of you guys to do that. Yeah, you go get ready for what could be a great night or an absolutely horrendous night if you lose to the Buccaneers. We'll be on here. You go ahead. Keep your
I'm going to be drinking a lot no matter what. So.
Amen.
Fair enough.
Go Bills.
For those watching, we'll hang around here for another 5-ish minutes. If you have any other questions, fire them away. Nick, yes, Ford is for sure out. I don't think they put him on IR though. Do you know by chance?
For Ford? No, they did not.
Okay, so back within a month then. Dominic, Kareem or Godwin?
Kareem.
Interesting. Yeah, I would say Kareem Hunt as well. Right. Who would come out on top if they all had to play in big, juicy Doc Martin stompers?
Ooh, I mean, Kareem's got tree thumb thighs, so I got to go with Kareem Hunt over Godwin and big, juicy Doc Martens.
I mean, is that who we're talking about? Are those the people we're discussing, or the game tonight?
You know what? We'll take that, and then if we take it to the Buck versus the Bills,
sure.
I think the Bills, they got a grit to them. They play in a outdoor stadium. I think they go with those boots.
Probably. I don't know. I don't view either of the teams tonight as tough teams, though. Like, I think Bills are kind of pretenders.
Oh, like, yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you said it.
Like, is Stephon Diggs going to be out there in those stomping around? I don't think so.
I think they have more of an edge to them than Tampa Bay.
I mean, are you sure? You're the Baker Mayfield guy. I like Baker too, but I think Baker has more of an edge than anybody else on the field tonight, probably.
I'm saying just the environment that they play in. It seems more natural for them to wear boots than in Florida.
Okay, yeah. Probably not a lot of boots down in Tampa. Friend offered me David Montgomery and Adams for Cooper, Henry, and Kyler. If your quarterback's fine, then maybe I would take it.
I'm leaning towards the sides of no, but I don't hate it.
See if you can get, if they offered it to you, you could probably get a little bit more. See if you can squeeze him from a little bit.
Derrick Henry, you might be able to buy lower if you wait a week.
Fair. Yeah. Sounds like Derrick Henry on the move. Rumors that he could get traded to the team, one of the teams playing tonight, getting traded to Buffalo. I don't see that happening. But it certainly seems like some team might be buying Derrick Henry. And I don't even know a landing spot where I'd be overly excited about it. But wherever he goes, he's going to be playing behind a better offensive line than he has now, I suppose. So that is fine, unless it's the Giants. But don't think it's going to be the Giants. Okay, really quick, I suppose. Tight end, start him, sit him. I do have Dalton Kincaid as the featured guy for tonight. Mostly just because, we're finding someone who hasn't been starting, someone you can trust to start. And I think Dalton Kincaid, you can start him. Bigger workload. He's getting put in a position where he can actually be a mismatch. Do I think he's a top 10 guy? I think he's borderline. I also have Logan Thomas as a start versus the Eagles. In sits, I have Taysom Hill, who everyone's ranking really high this week. It's confusing. And Tyler Higbee, who I think is fully droppable. Is there any of those names that stick out to you?
Yeah, I think Logan Thomas, sleeper. Everybody wants to talk about the top 3 tight ends: Kittle, Kelsey, borderline Andrews, depends on the week. But Logan Thomas has been playing extremely well under the radar, and especially for the tight end position that can make or break you in fantasy, he has been a steal.
Yeah, and like the Washington really wants to run the football, but they keep finding themselves behind, so they have to throw it. But when they throw it, like Sam Howell is looking good in my opinion, and obviously there's weapons there that can make everybody look really good. Playing the Eagles this week, I assume they are trailing again. They're going to be passing more, and Logan Thomas is very clearly an easy target, one of the go-to targets. So I think everyone sort of thrives there. I think Dotson might be a buy low guy. But, they have a good group of pass catchers, and Logan Thomas is among that.
Mm-hmm.
Randy, do I start Metcalf over Christian Watson? Yes, I would start Metcalf.
Absolutely.
I just don't trust Christian Watson. He flailed around on the field last week like a little bitch, and then he logged like his first full participant practice of the year yesterday. He's not even hurt. And he doesn't do that, though.
Exactly. I don't know. He doesn't even get paid to catch the ball. He gets paid to do cardio.
Don't like him. Do you guys listen to PMT, Pardon My Take? If so, did you listen to the interview yesterday with Orlovsky? I did not. How do you feel about him saying Ritter is a sleeper? It depends on either way. I don't think so, actually.
I think I did hear the clip. I think he's banking on his prediction of Desmond Ritter. He's saying, I think this is going to happen. For example, when I said that Logan Thomas is a sleeper, it's because he's consistently produced and just nobody is covering it. He's not getting the national attention that he arguably should be getting. Desmond Ritter, on the other hand, has been consistently inconsistent.
Yeah, I didn't hear the clip, but I think Orlovsky does know what he's talking about to an extent. But he makes all these big preseason predictions and he just sticks to them blindly. That's kind of what he's paid to do at ESPN. So I'm assuming he said Ritter's one of his breakout guys, and I'm guessing he's just sticking to it. Last few weeks, he started to throw for more passing yards. That's good. He's using his legs a little bit. That's good. But I don't know if Orlovsky's talking for fantasy or for reality. In reality, he's looked dog shit, but he's been playing pretty well for fantasy. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's playing at his ceiling in terms of for fantasy at the moment. So I don't see him as a sleeper.
I would agree with that.
Avery, I'm about to make a trade for Christian Kirk and Higbee. After what I just said, should I trade away Ferguson for Kmet? I don't mind trading away Ferguson for Kmet. I'm not looking to trade for Higbee. I don't think Higbee needs to be owned in anything under 12 teams or under. I don't think he needs to be owned. Kirk Cousins and Higbee.
No, I still don't buy the Higbee.
Yeah, I don't think you need to do that, but I mean, it sounds like you need a quarterback. So if that's just sort of a throw in, see if you can get a different throw in. But
and even so, who are you dropping to make room for Higbee?
True. Very true. But yes, I would trade Ferguson for Kmet. The big reason Taysom may be so high is because Taysom's been playing quarterback lately because of Carr's poor game. That's not true. Taysom has decent catches for yardage as well. The reason he's getting ranked so high is because he has catches the last 2 weeks, but he has 4 catches combined the rest of the season. He's ranked as the consensus among the other experts at Fantasy Pros. He's the tight end 13 this week, and I think that's insane. The only thing we know about Taysom Hill's game is that it's inconsistent.
Exactly. What year has he had a consistent stretch beyond 3 or more games of double-digit points?
Right. And so he's been operating as more of a true tight end the past couple of weeks. That's why he's got the catches. Now Jawan Johnson's coming back this week, so that role is going to shrink. And Derek Carr is getting healthier. He is now 4 or 5 weeks removed from his shoulder injury. He's gotten progressively better each week. I don't see them subbing Taysom Hill in there just for fun. Like, he's a red zone guy for sure. Like, if you get him in there, he can run the football, but Derek Carr is the passing quarterback. Penguin, do I start either Godwin? Sorry, have NBA on the brain already. Godwin or White over Jacobs because he's been terrible and plays Detroit.
Over Jacobs. Josh Jacobs.
Ranked.
Wow, he's been so fantasy relevant. That took me a second.
I still have Josh Jacobs ranked higher than White. And I mean, if you need just safe points and it's PPR, then I think you can go with Godwin. But overall, if you ask me which player has a better chance to score the highest points, I would go Jacobs still.
Yeah, I completely agree. We also don't know what Buffalo defense we're going to see tonight.
Yeah, very true. Tyler Algier or Latavius Murray, I'm guessing. Oh, okay, he does say it low. Thought I was going crazy. I need to update Latavius Murray's ranking too with Vita Vea out. I think I would still go Algier.
Yeah, also James Cook and Josh Allen.
It's weird how big of a role Latavius Murray's had recently, but what I'm doing right now, I'm moving Latavius Murray to running back 42. I have Algier at running back 40. So they're close, but that's what I would do. Pater. Who would you drop, Zach Moss or Miles Sanders? I'd rather drop Zach Moss, but I don't really want to drop either. If you need to create space, see if you can trade them.
Yeah, agree.
Carr's stats are being padded. I've watched Saints games this year. Seems like he checks down. Yeah, of course he does. I'm not saying Derek Carr's a good quarterback. I think he's playing fine though.
Well, that and also, especially with Taysom Hill being so high in fantasy, just because Derek Carr is clearly frustrated and the offense as a whole is frustrated, I think it's stock for Jameis Winston should be rising up, not Taysom Hill.
I mean, for sure, like if Derek Carr goes down again, they're not starting Taysom Hill at quarterback. So I suppose that's true. But I mean, there's bigger problems than any of the quarterbacks there in New Orleans. I'm not sure why people aren't talking about the play calling there that much, but it's not okay. It's the worst possibly in the NFL, and that includes the Packers, which I have to suffer through every week. 10-team PPR, start 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex. We'll go out on this question unless someone asks something else. Needs a win this week. Hall, White, Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor. Wide receivers, Chase, Olave, Garrett Wilson, Watson, T. Higgins, Godwin, JSN. Okay. So, I mean, Breece Hall's a lock.
Yeah.
I would go Breece Hall, Jonathan Taylor,
Mm-hmm.
Jamar Chase. I mean, I should look. I want to say Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, just the only thing I see against that is playing 2 Jet players.
Yeah, it's the Giants, though.
Fair.
Who are the other ones? Olave, Watson, T. Higgins, Godwin. Godwin's right there. Watson. I'm going. You need a win. I'm going Hall, Taylor, Chase, Wilson. And Olave. Is that true? I think that's what I would do. I think I'd go Olave.
I agree with your 2 running backs, your 2 receivers. I think for the flex, though, I go Chris Godwin.
That's fair. Certainly safer. Rashad White, I think, is relatively safe as well. But upside, big play. I'm going Olave. Get the exclamation point win. And if you have any other questions join the Fantasy Football by Committee Facebook group. We will answer questions in there. Other people in the community can answer questions in there as well. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link in the description below. If you're worried about your league mates finding you asking questions, getting advice, you can actually ask questions anonymously in there as well, which is a really cool feature. A lot of people use it. Very useful. Again, Fantasy Football by Committee on Facebook. It's a group. Please join it. Please subscribe wherever you are watching, and we will be back next week. Goodbye.